Hey y'all, I'm back for us to talk about Basketball Wives, just a little piece, okay? I want us to get into a snippet that Sundy Carter had with Tori Hart. Y'all know that is the ex-wife of Kevin Hart. So she now has a podcast and she interviews Sundy. And Sundy talks about, Jackie Christie and her return to, Basketball Wives as for Sundy's return to Basketball Wives. She discusses that. And what's interesting when I came across this clip of Sundy talking with Tori, I was just thinking, it's interesting this is popping up because just like a week prior I had saw her. It seems like she's going through a healing process. She may be working on a book because she was dating a narcissist of some sort. It sounds like he may have been, pretty abusive or whatnot. So she was having this really vulnerable video that I saw. I was like, oh wow, 'cause sometimes I'll be wondering what be up with the people that used to be on Basketball Wives, and somehow she just popped up on my timeline. I just like watched it. Then I went to her page, like, what she got going on, So hope everything is going well for Miss Sunday. Okay. She does go on to talk about, Basketball Wives, whether she would return or anything like that. I did see some people in the comments that were like, listen, I don't have no sympathy for that lady. I don't care nothing about her because she sat up there and had a child with a married man and she was over there talking cash money about somebody that had cancer. So a lot of people not seeing it for her, but I do want us to at least hear what it is that Miss Jackie Christie had to say to her and vice versa when it comes to like Basketball Wives, because that's really why we're here. This is a Basketball Wives video, okay? And I want us to get into that, so let's do it.
What happened with Jackie Christie?
Girl.
Why didn't they let you back on Basketball
I don't know. I have no idea.
Started, the other day.
Yeah.
So why didn't they let you back on?
I have no idea. Girl, so every year Jackie had been hitting me up like, oh sis, they gonna bring you back. They gonna bring you back. I'm like, okay, cool. I just let the show go. Like, I'm right now, I'm retired actually. Like, y'all heard it here first. I'm never going back in front of the camera outside of doing like a podcast or something for the book. I'm tired. I don't want to do it no more. So she calls me, oh sis, they gonna bring you back. This time she calls me and she's like,
why are you tired?
Me?
Yeah, why are you tired? Why don't?
Because I've been writing like, oh, you talking about?
Yeah, why?
Because I just failed my whole get down in like the lab. So I'm really like behind the scenes. I don't have the desire to do it no more.
Okay.
So she hit me up this particular time, last October 2024. She hits me up, sis, they bringing you back. I'm like, girl. Okay. So then I get a call from casting. So I get the call and so the lady, she sets up something like, what you got going on? I'm like, just talking about, I just been writing. That's it. She's like, oh, tell us about, the connection with the basketball wife thing. So I'm like, well, the only thing I really got going on is that Kennedy, she ain't never seen her dad except for 2 times when she was a little baby. She don't even remember.
Who was her dad again?
Larry Hughes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And so,
this baby never saw her dad. I did not know that. And that is the man that was married at the time when she had that affair with him and had that baby. That's crazy, girl. They got all the time in the world to meet up with you till they have a baby with you, girl. That's crazy. I hate that for that little girl. Hope she's doing okay. Well, I don't think she was a little girl anymore. I think they ended up having the affair. Well, I'm not sure when they had it. I remember it was like a conversation around 2014, but I'm not sure how old the daughter was. So maybe she's much older now. Maybe she's like a teenager or even an adult at this point. But that's terrible. I don't know if that's something that they would have cared to have captured on the show for real.
So
why
I don't know.
In her life,
we got to ask this question because this is the first time I've ever talked about it. You know what I'm saying, in public,
right?
Before, like open, because I haven't, and she's 17 now, so that's a whole nother story. Because now she's like in a place where she's asking questions. Her friends are asking, like, who's your? She looked just like him.
That's what I was gonna say.
Look just like this person.
Yeah.
So it's coming from a place to where it's like that person isn't dead. He's not in jail. He's not in a coma. What's wrong with me, mom? So I gotta also, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. I gotta answer that. And that's a whole that narcissist, he tried my daughter too. But yeah, so back to Jackie. And again, I got brain fog because I told you the narcissistic abuse. But yeah, she called me. I do the interview or whatever. I tell her everything that's going on behind the scenes with me and Kennedy and that person. Everything seemed to be cool. She sets up the interview. I do the audition or whatever. then I get a phone call from old girl telling me like, oh, they love you and this and that or whatever. They're going to bring you back and they're, you know, thanking me, telling me I'm going to be so happy. Okay, cool. So now it's just a waiting process. Me and her are talking and I rewrite a script for her that she had. And I do it in like 6 days. She was sitting on this project for like 10 years. So I do it. I send it back. Now we're starting to prepare because she's gaslighting me into thinking like, girl, they bring you back. I'm only taking her
She
word.
did this so you could write for her.
I don't know. I don't know why she did it. I'm just telling you what I did.
Right.
And so I did that. And then she's like, so we start planning as if I'm coming back to the show. And I'm taking her word for it because you're the queen of Basketball Wives. You would know everything. You would know everything about production. You would know everything about casting. So you know who they're bringing back.
Not the queen.
So then for like 3 or 4 months, stuff just wasn't adding up. And I just was like, okay. I was telling her, like, on the creative side of things, I can write.
Right.
But on the flip side, as far as like the paperwork and stuff, I need you to do that. So she's like, all right, cool. It was never getting done. So now I find out she's shooting. She don't tell me she's shooting. How are you shooting and you're telling me that they're not done casting yet? So that wasn't making no sense. So I'm just like, all right, that don't make no sense. But I'm so thirsty to get my projects out there. I'm thinking I'm about to use this platform, you know, to get my stuff out there. I'm a writer now. So she knew all of that. Me and her was supposed to be, you know, joining our production companies, and she was going to roll out her talk show through our production company, allegedly. Come to find out, she never had an intention on doing any of this stuff. She gets insane on the show last season, and she starts talking about not even a TV show, a film that I wrote, the scripted version of Basketball Wives, Playing for Keeps, which I wrote, I own. And she's on there. She don't even give me my props or nothing. She's saying like, oh, you know, who's we? Give me my props because it does nothing for me. I'm not there. I'm rebranding myself. I can't afford to be attached to nobody that's bullshitting. You feel what I'm saying? If you're not serious, you're not about your business, that's all you had to say. And I kept asking her, listen, are we doing this regardless if I do the show or not? Yes, sis, yeah. Whole time, never. She done shot the whole season, had me thinking she's, you know, on some sort of standoff with production, and had me looking on the girls' pages. Oh, look one here, look one there. Whole time she in
with production.
Yeah, because they're not. Yeah, because they're not bringing me, your business partner. Oh, I'm, you know, putting your name in the fold of things this way, that way. So they don't have no choice but to bring you. And it just was like.
That be Jackie problem. Jackie be trying to appease everybody. And you just can't do that. You just got to keep it a book, right? Hey, I put your name in the hat. Listen, I don't know if they're going to choose you. Like, why would you have her hyped up like she coming? I think that may be the thing that ruined Sundy's experience, that probably made her feel like, oh, I don't want to film ever again. I don't want to do reality TV ever again. I'll just do like podcasts. Because you just said that you were so thirsty to get back on the screen, and that was just a few months prior. Okay, this was just in the fall of last year, but that may have been something that really ruined it for her. And I say never say never. You say that now, okay? But I mean, again, we don't know if Sundy is telling the truth, you know. But I will say that I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like Jackie likes to hype everybody up, just like we've seen on a previous episode where she hyped people. You are, you know, your feelings are valid. If you feel like you did nothing wrong, then you have a right to speak on that and this, that, and the other. And then in the next scene, she'll flip on your ass and act like I don't know why they did it. You're wrong. Jackie's a mess, right? She's a mess.
I need to see Shaunie. So I drove to Shaunie's church. Just to kind of like, you know what I'm saying, put some things into perspective. Like I need to go up here to figure out, because she had me thinking that all of the women were hating on me, didn't want me there on the show.
And you thought Shaunie was going to want to have a conversation with you about business while she's at the church? Girl, that's crazy. Shaunie would have been like, girl, schedule a meeting with me. You couldn't DM me? You ain't got Shaunie number?
Was saying that this one said that and this one said that. Like it's every man for themselves type of thing.
Why did she do this?
I don't know. I have no idea. And I'm like, me though? You would play with me like that? I've been nothing but a good friend and loyal, even when people told me not to. It's like, nah, I never experienced that with her. I've never been a person to like judge somebody based off of what somebody else says. You understand what I'm saying? So
know her and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant just got into it. They were going through something.
no, I had no, and that's actually who she brought on the show last season.
Yeah.
I guess over me. And I'm not saying that she did it, but she was telling me like, oh, Cheyenne is, they're bringing her. So it's like they're bringing her over me. You feel me? And that was cool, but she could have just led with that. Like, listen, I gave production you, and I gave production Cheyenne. It's in production's hands. You're not production. You feel what I'm saying? So,
But you kind of knew that, though. You knew that it was in production's hands at the end of the day. I feel like you've done television long enough to know how this process goes, and you wanted to believe whatever Jackie was telling you. So I kind of feel like as I'm listening to you, part of you played yourself just a bit.
like, she could have just been honest with me. She wasn't honest, and I'm like, damn, this whole time I've been just reciprocating my loyalty to you, and I'm not receiving that back. So you don't get to do that to me. And then when I realized like she had everybody recorded and she's telling me this and that, whatever, I was like, I need a contingency plan. So I started recording because I knew that once
You
Yeah.
recorded you and Jackie's conversation.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Just because I needed, yeah. No, it's not. In Texas, it's not. I live in Texas. No, it's not.
Okay, wait. Would you say that Jackie is a narcissist?
Would you say that?
I haven't dealt with her the way you dealt with her.
Right. That was my experience.
And I'm cool with Jackie.
Yeah.
I mean, if I see her, we speak.
Yeah, that's
we're not
good.
friends,
Mhm.
but we're cool.
Yeah. Cordial.
Cordial, right?
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot that she's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Girl,
Her own child says, or
that's
children.
cool. Just don't be crazy with me.
right?
That's all that I'm, especially when I've shown you nothing but like people are literally like coming to me like, don't trust her. Don't do this. Don't.
What people?
Just just people, just in the industry and
people that
stuff.
want
Like
to show
just,
with you?
no, just other like outside people. Not anybody specifically on the show. No.
What happened with Jackie Christie?
Girl.
Why did
So that is what she had to say. Child, Miss Sundy is upset with Jackie for lying to her about getting her back onto the show. Even though I do feel like you know how this process goes. So while you sat up there and believed Jackie, you chose to do that. Okay. And also I kind of feel like just a little bit. I don't know why, but I'm wondering, like, are you creating and speaking out and making this a bigger issue in the effort to get more eyes on you, in the effort to get eyes on your book, in some fashion? I don't know, could be wrong, but just a question. A lot of people in the comments are saying that they could care less. All right. Somebody says, I'm sure nobody asked you to come back to reality TV. Somebody says the only person who wants Sunday back is Sunday. Yikes. It's been 10 years. That ship has sailed, honey. Move on. Ooh, child. It seemed like the fans are not interested. We only remember her for two things: posting her daughter's news and getting popped in the eye, child. Why would we need another season of that? Woo! Girl, the comments, dude, they is not here for Miss Sunday, child. They are not here. They do not care. All right. So unfortunately, that's that. Good luck to Sunday in anything she has working on in the future. All right. I want to get into Evelyn Lozada, right? Because her and Jen have been having issues. Okay. Evelyn doesn't really want Jen to be with Christian because she feels like he's a scammer. All right. He's been lying to Jen. And I honestly don't think Evelyn cares, in my opinion. This is just my personal. I don't think that Evelyn cares, but she's acting like she does. And I want us to get into what she had to say about the different people she felt Jen has dated and how it's just ain't been looking good. Okay, so let us get into this real quick.
Well, you saw that recently there was a premiere party, right? And it gets me to thinking, before the premiere party, I saw her the day before, and we did press. It was me, Jackie, and her. And granted, we weren't like ace boom coons and we weren't like chummy chummy, but I'm like, I'm going to show up to this press tour and I'm going to do what I need to do because I want the show to do well.
Right.
I didn't overly engage with them, but the energy was light. It wasn't super
So it
uncomfortable.
was like cordial, like you guys were just doing
Yeah.
your job.
And then she does
Yeah.
that.
I was because Jackie took over the Basketball Wives page, so I happened to go on IG, and then I seen that part when she was talking about you about like, you know, why are you giving your opinion since you never had like any relationship really charm. Like I was just like, Evelyn's just trying to be your friend, and I feel like as a friend, especially if you're so outspoken like you are. I feel like people take that as like you're hating because you always have an opinion about something. But for me, I take it like you're just trying to be my girl.
When I saw the clip of her going so hard on me, obviously I wanted to fucking go on social media and blast her fucking ass, right?
Rip her new
But
one.
then I said to myself, just pause for a second, you know, really think about this. I never tried to give advice. You know, I never said, hey, you should do this because this worked for me. I never tried to give advice. My stance on it from the beginning is I have known Jennifer for over 25 years.
Yeah.
Okay. There are things that I experienced with her pre-Basketball Wives that she knows that I know that she's been attracting scammers from before this was a thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to like talk shit about her, but so she dated Eric, right? She was married to Eric. We all saw what happened that season, right? Eric treated her like shit. And there are a lot of things that happen in that relationship that I feel bad for her that she experienced certain things, right? He threw the drink in her face and the world got to see that, right? Boom. She breaks up with him and then she starts dating Tim, okay? Tim from Sweetie Pies. And she starts dating Tim Thicky Thighs, fucking Norman from Sweetie Pies. She wanted to marry him. And he ends up in jail because he got his nephew killed.
Right.
Okay, so now his ass is in jail. After that, she starts dating another guy that's a scammer, right?
Stole her Range Rover, right?
He stole her Range Rover. She does a whole fucking documentary about that. In the interim of all of this, there was another guy that scammed her that the world don't know about, but she knows I know about it. You understand? So I've lived certain situations with her where I'm like, one thing about Jennifer, she continues to repeat the cycle. God continues to send you the same fucking person over and over again, and until you learn whatever that lesson is supposed to be, you know? And she wants to be married and she wants to have a relationship so bad, no matter at what cost. She wanted to marry Tim, you know, and no matter what, I want to be a wife, you know? And she's willing to take just the title without really having in your life a great person. He's probably a great partner to her, right? I'm talking about a great person as far as who you are as a person and your character.
Right.
And obviously we're seeing on this episode all of the things that he allegedly has going on, you know? So I never tried to give advice. I would never try to give advice. But I also feel like I've experienced so much in relationships that I could see red flags. And I want what's best for her. I feel like even you say she's a coward, I feel like she's above all this bullshit, you know? Okay.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate again because I'm not taking anyone's side. But what about when you were with Chad and she tried to speak to you as a friend and, you know, show you those red flags?
Right. So when which is great because a lot of people brought this up during the episode, and obviously I got upset during that time. So her concern with Chad at the time was he's a media whore. He's just doing the most, right? She's going on interviews talking about my now fiance, soon to be husband publicly, which I had an issue with because I'm like, you're my best friend. We're best friends. Like, this is like my girl at this time.
But you're doing the same thing though. I understand how the audience may feel and stuff, but you're doing the same damn thing. If you saw the lady wasn't open to having a conversation with you, you should have just took it at that. You cannot beat your friends over the head and force them to learn or know what you already know. And chances are they know it too. They just don't care. So you got to just let her rock out with that. You can't beat her over the head. And now you're trying to justify why you were upset when she was talking about Chad or whatever. And Jen says that she didn't even say all that. As you're putting the spice on it, I can't recall. I have to go back and watch the doggone season or that episode. But you're doing the same damn thing. And then you're just doing it extra. And you even beat stuff over your daughter's head the way that you're doing with Jen? I beg to differ. Okay, I beg to differ. I think the message Evelyn sent Jen was really nice. I think that's how it's supposed to go. And if she's not open and ready to receive what you having to say, that's fine. Take a step back. I promise she gonna learn. Okay.
time. Why are you doing interviews saying these negative things about him? Mind you, you're mad and you're off him because he's a media whore. This scenario is so much different, right? You're with a person, you decided to marry a person that all these things are coming out and all these victims continue to come out, because even from the episode airing, these victims are fucking pissed. Okay, they want their money and they are saying he traded whatever he had. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs because something is there. Like there's a RICO case.
Definitely something there.
These victims are not going to file a lawsuit in a RICO case if it's some bullshit.
Right.
The FBI is not going to be involved if it's some bullshit. I feel like it is a little different because she didn't feel like Chad was being detrimental to my life and that I could end up in a lot of trouble because of this. People are now looking to Jennifer because they're like, oh, okay, well, now you're legally married to him. I'm going to come after your motherfucking ass because we want what's owed to us, you know? So I feel
Yes
like
and no. And I wonder how and what Jen would do to legally cover herself, because when I think of Erica Girardi of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I don't think they came for everything that she had. You know what I'm saying? Granted, a lot of her money was also tied into the wealth of her husband, because he was the one that owned that had the law firm, and he was collecting settlements for people but not paying them folks out their money, but using their money on his wife or whatever the case was. But I don't think they really came after her for a lie. Like even the jewelry she had, she was not going to give it up. She kept it. So I don't know how Jen will go about protecting herself, especially considering the fact that some of the acts took place before she even married him. Now, what I would question is if some of the acts took place as you are married to him. And that would be my thing. I did not like watching Christian talk and him trying to give an excuse as to why he has not given that lady her $1,500 and think that that's supposed to make sense to us. Like, you think you have the gift of gab, okay? And you think we're supposed to just let that fly over our heads talking about he needed her to sign a document. Okay, and if she don't sign a document, do what you need to do to make sure that you're covered. And get that lady her fucking money back. Did you need that document when you accepted that damn cash out payment? Okay, because if you ask me, she should have sent it via a different way. Maybe you could have PayPal'd her, all right, where there would have been an invoice. And then that way, you probably would not have needed this document you said that she got to sign in order for you to send the fucking money back. Like, you're just creating excuses. And the thing that makes you look even more bad is the fact that it's been months later since y'all last filmed this shit. She requested and asked for a damn refund from you, and here we are months later, and you have yet to get that lady her money, but you want to sit your ass up there talking about something. You only charged her $1,500 because you know how it can be, you know, as a single mom and doing this and that and struggling and you understood it when you took them $1,500, but you don't understand it to get her $1,500 back. That's insane to me. So yeah, that is giving vibes of a fucking scammer, right? But I'm not finna beat it over Jen's head and let her know what it is that she got. If she ain't doing the extra work to get the research done and all of that when it comes to that partner, and she get played the hell out, that's on her, because obviously that's a life that she wanted. Okay, but let's keep going. But Evelyn, make no mistake, you are using them folks as a storyline because you don't have nothing else going on, and I will much further know about what you got going on versus you using her as a storyline and him. Like, come on.
That's what the difference is. You know, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. And I think the thing with Jennifer is that you try to shed light. Not tried, you did. You came in full force. And she did not want to talk about it, though, Mom.
Right. But does she not want to talk about it because you really don't think that this person is doing this? Or do you not want to talk about it because you're in denial and you want to be married so bad and you're like, fuck it, I had this documentary, and you know when you kind of going for somebody so hard that you're like, fuck it, I got to stick to it at this point.
She might as well know and is not telling us that she knows, but obviously she's going to defend her love.
Right.
And I just feel like she ain't talking to you about it because she ain't got to talk to your ass about it. Okay? And maybe she do know. Let's say she do know. That's on her yet again. Maybe she don't want to say anything to you that's going to incriminate him any more than what he already is. But also, why would she want to share anything with you when she sees how far you go to collect information or put whatever out there and all of that? Like, she don't feel safe with you to just have those conversations. And that's on you. And that her not feeling completely safe with your ass goes well beyond, okay, goes well beyond Christian. However, if she'll sit up there and talk about your fucking daughter to other folks, you shouldn't feel safe sharing shit with her ass either. Because I hate to say it, would have been a wrap on her ass for real. Like, we ain't got, We could be a what work associates, bitch, but it's never giving close friends like that because I'll be doing you a disservice because I wouldn't be as close with you. I wouldn't be sharing with you. Like it just wouldn't be how it was. I'll be doing you a disservice wholeheartedly. But let's keep going.
Like if I was sorry, but like if I was married or in a relationship, I'm never gonna publicly say my husband is wrong. Behind closed doors, I will, like out of respect for him. Now I wouldn't be defending him the way, you know, she is, like blindly or stupidly. But what I'm saying is like when you're in a relationship, you kind of, you know, say certain things behind closed doors, but publicly you're not going to air him out and be like, yep.
But then that's the thing too, Shanice, though, where I have to honestly say, like, I don't know what that lady's saying to that man behind the scenes. She could be saying some things behind the scenes. And just like Shanice is saying, like, you know, I wouldn't publicly, you know, bash him. And then I wouldn't also, what she said, I wouldn't publicly be defending him. But also sometimes with the audience, people are going to take it as because you're not saying anything to that person that you are content in the things that they're doing and saying. So even though you may feel like you may not be on some I'm team him, yada yada yada, you could just be like, please stop talking about my husband. Or you could say anything to where I'm not gonna entertain this conversation with you or whatever, and get out, and they still gonna think whatever it is they're gonna think because they want to see you in public disowning the activity or the actions of your partner. So it really ain't no way around it. If she could do that. She could do that, and then people gonna be wanting to see her get a divorce. Okay, so follow through with that. But right now, she's so focused on. I'm kind of starting to believe a little bit of what Evelyn said about her wanting to be a wife so bad, right? Because when we watched that live, she was like, "Oh, you know, when you're married, you know, it's this and it's that, and you have to blah 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 blah," and all this other stuff that she's saying. And I'm like, I don't know. I think that could be it. Maybe she really did want to be a wife, right? By any means, potentially.
Yeah, I felt like in that episode she was uncomfortable, and I feel like maybe she knows some truth behind closed doors.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not talking about it, and you're like,
were you surprised?
$1,500.
Well, because then I'm more connected to this situation of the trading because of Carl's cousin. Like when she reached out to my sister, she didn't even reach out to me. She had reached out to my sister like, hey, I'm trying to get my money back, you know? And yes, we keep hearing there's a $1,500 fee, which is his personal fee that he takes. And then the next step is you're supposed to fund these accounts for him to then take that money and trade.
Yeah.
After she paid the $1,500, she had questions before she funded the accounts, which a lot of these victims funded. Right? You have the woman that is on disability that funded her account of $30,000, right? She didn't ask questions. She was just like, okay, cool. I can invest these $30,000 and make 1.5 million. Cool. I don't know who would believe this, but you have people that believe this, right? So Kiki started asking questions after the 1,500 and he wasn't responding or whatever happened. So she never funded
But that's not what he showed, and that's what makes it confusing for me. And I'm wondering if a lot of their conversations were via text thread. We didn't see her ask any of those questions. She didn't. Okay? He even was telling her, hey, don't forget to XYZ. Now, granted, he could have deleted messages. Until we see Kiki's messages, I'm going to have to go with what he's showing, right? Just like most judges will too, right? So I'm going to have to see her present some evidence to come against what he's saying. But at the same time, I still had to get on Christian's head because this is where if you are so blinded by, oh, he's cute, and whatever it is, her preference and all of the other shit, then she's not going to probably hear what he's saying. Or maybe she's zigmatized, who knows. But listen to him. Listen to what he said. He could have been, she's owed a refund. Oh, I didn't give it to her because she wouldn't sign this document that she's supposed to sign. What is the document? That she's not supposed to disparage you? I'm not sure. But get that lady her fucking money because you also said you know what it's like to be struggling and this, that, and the other. But you clearly see that she probably wanted the money back because she couldn't get up the money to even put something into the account for it to be funded. That's what it seems like to me. So, like, yeah, he be on some other, it's giving that
account. A lot of these victims allegedly funded these accounts and then that money was taken. There was no proof that this was the money was being traded. And why are you laughing?
Because Jennifer doesn't give a rat's ass about any of that.
No.
I'm sorry. Jennifer
I
cares about
believe
her
it.
little dog. She cares about traveling to Paris. She cares about her outfits. She wants to be a kept woman. Jennifer does not care, whether it be true or false in her eyes, about that woman's $1,500.
And that to me sounds so much like Erica Girardi. That's why they was getting on her ass on Beverly Hills, because they felt like she didn't care. And some part of her was like, I don't. I care about me. Okay, what that man chose to do to them folks, that is what he did, even though it benefited her. And I do feel like the situations are the same, but it's slightly different, because the entire time that man was scamming them folks, Erica was married to this man, and he was funding her businesses and everything. She didn't know where the money was coming from. She just thinking it's from his farm. She didn't know he was stealing from people, right? But then with Jen, Christian did a lot of his stuff, alleged stuff that he did to people before he even married Jen, right? So Jen may feel like, I don't know, Jen could have already talked to a lawyer or something. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe she could be held accountable for any additional scamming that he may have done from the moment they signed a document saying that they are married, right? And when Evelyn talked earlier about, oh, I just feel like, did she not want to talk about it or whatever because she feels like, hey, I've been going this far with it, I might as well keep going. I do feel like that's why she officially married him. I think that she would have been okay with the narrative of people believing that that was her husband. But once she got around y'all and y'all trying to say that they're not married or whatever, because let Jackie tell it, the marriage that happened or the wedding that happened on the show is the real wedding. So I could see her wanting to follow through at that time to prove people wrong, since they're digging into records, because you would have thought they would have got the marriage certificate and SHI together before they even went over to Paris. But granted, I don't know what's going to be proven. They may prove that, and then they may turn around and have another wedding for everybody here. Who knows? Jackie saying this was the real wedding in Vegas or wherever they got married at. So I don't know. But if it worked how I'm thinking originally, they went overseas to have this big elaborate situation, making it bigger than what it was. The whole time they weren't married. Came back, they probably was going to ride off into the sunset like Yandy and Mendices, pretending to be married when they're not. Right, but to appease these ladies, she decided to go ahead and they put it on actual document. So I don't know. But again, getting back to whether it's going to affect Jen, I don't know. I think it very well could, but we don't know if she's been in conversation with attorneys about, if he's faced with this or that, how much of it would impact me versus how much it wouldn't. I don't know. And I would say that it probably wouldn't. I don't know, based on the dates of when it happened. Right? I don't know if she has to automatically assume financial responsibility for things that have been taken up against him, and how much they could actually come after her and her assets just because she's married. I don't know. Okay. In each state where things may have taken place, is different. But child, he better be careful out here for real. For real. Because you'll do so much of talking on that platform that you will definitely tell on yourself.
I agree.
She just cares about
She
brands.
does not care. I think she just cares about herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are like that. I think, like I said, I think she's self-centered. It's a strong lack of depth, and she does not care about what money her man's stealing, as long as it's in her pocket.
Right.
Boom. So we're just gonna cut that off right there and say, I do personally feel like a bit of that I can see in Evelyn, where she's extremely self-centered as well at times. And in addition, for you to sit there and say that she doesn't care, people are gonna come for you and feel like you don't care, considering the fact that your son's dad does have this particular case against him, and that case had been out there for some time, well before you even got pregnant by him. So I don't know, people are gonna try to come on your head top about that too, and you may feel like, well, I experienced a different version of him, I didn't experience that version of what that lady had or whatever. But that's not gonna stop people from being on your head top about your baby daddy and the circumstance that he has also found himself in. It's just what it is. But that's all that I got. Wanted to come to you guys with a little bit of Basketball Wives. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. On Sundy Carter, wanted to return so bad, being so thirsty to return back to Basketball Wives, and she'll believe whatever Jackie Christie told her, only for Jackie to play in her face in more ways than one. And also leave your thoughts about what Miss Evelyn Lozada and her daughter had to say furthermore, more about Jennifer. And can I also highlight this? As Evelyn is given the track record of everybody that Jen has dated and talked about how, pretty much all of them are scammers. And yes, make no mistakes, Jen, you have a fucking horrible track record with men. But Evelyn, you do as well. And I do feel like the best man that you may have found, you also let him go. Now, I don't know if that is the best man overall, but in comparison to the niggas you have messed with, he was a better one. And I believe his name was Levon or something like that, over there on whatever, the Queen's Court that she ended up meeting. Very much so, give it gentleman. But Evelyn likes a roughneck. Okay? Got a roughneck. Gotta get her. A roughneck. Gotta get her. Like you a roughneck. Okay, you like those type of men. Okay, and I'm not gonna say what else I want to say, but all right. But that's all I got. That's all I got for you guys at this particular time. I'll catch you guys in the next one, honey. Bye bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATL, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can feel it.